Over the last 30 years or so, I've worked with people in different capacities, from running my own businesses with staff to coaching, managing leaders, to my current work, which is consultative coaching, mentoring, particularly around management and supervisorial key personnel level, is that I've learnt a lot about people and how to get the best out of them. And that's what I want to share briefly this evening, being how to bring the best out of others. You know, we've just eaten our entree, and coming up I noticed that for main course we have on one plate steak and potatoes, on another we have chicken and some carrots, plus other things obviously. In preparation of food and in the nurturing of food, produce, everything is treated a different way according to the nature of that particular item. We prepare and cook chicken differently to that of steak. Vegetables each have their own unique flavours, textures, and we prepare and cook them accordingly. We take the time to do that. Well, if you want things to come out according to how the vegetables and fruit were designed, then taking the time and understanding them is advantageous. And I have found over my time of working with people that treating people in a similar way helps bring the best out of them. It highlights their uniqueness, their flavours, as it were. When we consider people, one of the things that I've realised over time is that everybody is different. Every person is unique, just like every snowflake is unique. There's no two people ever the same. If you have a look at the makeup of a person, there is so much contained within. I mean, you've got the physical attributes, obviously, but internally, you've got this whole thing of purpose and somebody's call. You've got their unique gifts and talents, their abilities. You've got their behavioural traits and their personality traits. You've got strengths and weaknesses. You've got life-transforming moments. And so I could go on, curiosities and interests and passions. So no two people are exactly the same. A long time ago I learnt that different equals different. Up until a point, I always thought that different was wrong. If somebody believed something different to me, I never questioned them to understand more about them and consider that my own beliefs or values might have been wrong. I just deemed them as wrong because it was different to me. But over time, I've learned that different equals different, and that everybody is unique according to who they are and their gift to the planet. And this is one of the foundational aspects of bringing the best out in others, is to recognise that each of our children are unique. That we don't treat all of our employees the same, because they're not the same. They can't be motivated the same way, they can't be incentivised the same way. Each of them come to work with different things. You know, some of them come to work hiding their depression and their suicidal tendencies because of fear, because of non-acceptance, because sometimes we treat everybody that they've got to be rah-rah up there, go for it at 100 miles an hour. We've got other people that are going through family tragedies. We've got other people that life's great. Everybody in our worlds is unique and they have a different life situation. So everyone's unique. That's a foundational element. Different equals different. Acceptance that it's okay that you're like that and you're like that. That's okay. I accept you as you are for that. Doesn't mean that I have to be friends with people or keep somebody employed because of that. But it's okay. Different equals different. If you don't suit this company, that's okay. If one of my children doesn't want to become an academic, that's okay. Different equals different. And the other thing I want to just mention in this foundational element of bringing the best out of others is something I've picked up from Brené Brown, from one of her books. She's a shame researcher. Got a couple of books that I've been, a lot of books. Rising Strong and Daring Greatly are a couple that I've been into. In one of those books, she mentions this one line: everybody is doing the best they can. Everybody is doing the best they can. That one line has revolutionized my life. So when I'm working, a lot of my work involves increasing productivity, happiness within individuals, workplace culture, those kind of things. When I'm working with people now, I approach them as unique, that they're different to me. They're motivated, they've got different needs, different ambitions, different goals, different life situations, so they're different. I accept that. But I'm approaching it now as that person is doing the best that they can, given who they are and their life histories and circumstances. Does it mean that I accept irresponsible behaviour? No. Does it mean that they cannot go to the next level? No. But what it does mean is that I'm less judgmental when I'm with them, when I'm working with them. And I'm more likely to extend grace and kindness and get beside them to help them come to the next level. I've got a situation at the moment. One of the supervisors I'm working with has hit a ceiling in his development, in his job. He's letting the team down. It's a conversation that we're going to have next week. But it may mean that we get beside, it will mean a discussion whether he is able to go to the next level, which I think with his skill set he's able to. But it may mean that if he chooses not to, he gets moved sideways or he gets moved out to another company out the front door, whichever way he'll move. But the approach is different. Instead of me barking from the top, and I've seen this with a lot of business owners, I just wish they'd get their act together. I wish they. It means that if someone's doing the best they can, it simply means that I'm more likely to get beside them, be less judgmental, and then move. So there's some of the foundations. And obviously there's a whole heap more. But some of the foundations I approach my work and my life with my friends, my family. I've got 4 children, 4 grandchildren, can you believe? Everyone's different. And it's becoming aware that people matter. You would have heard that term before. I've heard that for many, many years. But now it's starting to come through that people matter. People matter. One last thing, and this is one aspect that I've found of how to bring out the best, going from foundations to that action. Bring the best out in others. There's a Jewish proverb that goes something to the effect of, train a child in the way they should go, and they will not depart from it. My understanding that in the Hebrew language, from that proverb, is that it actually means train a child according to their way, according to the way they should go. Train a child according to their way. When I look at my children, and we'll take children for example, they all have different ways. Again, I just keep coming back to this uniqueness. And one of the things I found as my wife at the time and I were raising our children was honouring each of them. We didn't try to make them all academics or all lawyers. We honoured them according to their way. My friends all have different ways. And for me to allow them to flourish, to nurture them, to be all they can be, it takes time to understand somebody. And once I understand who they are, get a little glimpse into their motivations and their unique ways, we'll say it nicely like that, then I can encourage them according to their way, not according to my way. I might think they should be doing this, and no doubt all of you have had the shoulds come our way and passed the shoulds back on. You should. But when we approach bringing out the best in others according to who they are, and it's really honouring the person that somebody is. You know, I've got a street friend I see every Saturday night. Most nights I go out dancing, go and watch live music. One of my highlights is sitting on the street with my friend Travis. And every week I ask him about his life. He tells me about his daughter. His sister recently committed suicide. He's told me about his previous heroin addiction. Have I said you should be? No. I've been understanding his way. I might suggest a couple of things, but he suggests things back because I've dropped my walls and been vulnerable. And here's two people on the street on a Saturday night sharing a cigarette and a hamburger, talking about life, understanding each other's way, and then helping each other according to their way. It's priceless. It's a gift in the workplace. And I'll finish with this example. I was working with a company and the owner said, I'd like you to work with my account manager for the next 3 months. He's 50% under budget and I really need to get him to budget or I'm going to show him the door. So employing all of this material and the approach that I've just gone through in the last 15 minutes, I got beside him and I understood the person that was in front of me. I took time to understand who he was. I came to realise very quickly that whenever we spoke, he talked about his family. It was one of his highest values, if not the highest value in his life. I said to him one day, I said, what would you like to do? He said, I'd like to take my family to Disneyland. I'm planning to do that at the end of the year. I said, great, what else would you like to do? Well, I'd really like to put my 2 kids into private school because I never had the chance to do that when I was young. When he said that, I got out his budget with the relevant commission structures and I showed him that if he reached budget, that commission structure that was already in place, it was already there. He was already incentivised according to a practical standpoint, from a practical standpoint, it was all there. But I said to him, do you realise that if you hit budget, you're going to be able to put your kids in private school and go to Disneyland, and you're going to be able to do that every year. Plus, if you go 10 or 20% above that, this is going to be yours for your family as well. I remember the time the lights came on. 12 months later, I phoned the boss and I said, how's he going? He said, he's never going to be a star performer, but he's meeting budget, and that's all that matters. I treated him as a unique individual and understood the person around who he was. I accepted him for that. I understood that at the time, according to who he was doing the best he could. Once I understood all of that, it was directing him according to his way. You know, not the latest pop psychology business books and what everyone says about motivation. It was according to his way. And when I showed him that I linked his daily performance, his work performance and approach to his highest values, it clicked and transformed him, transformed his life, and made the company more profitable. Bringing the best out of people. It's a challenge, but it is incredibly satisfying. I'd like to finish with some words that my daughter wrote to me on Father's Day on Instagram. And she had this to say: my dad is the most non-judgmental, accepting, honest and gracious dad, and I am one blessed woman to be able to call this man my dada. Thank you for those nights you held a safe space for me in my most messed up, drunken and upside down states. Thank you for showing me grace all those times you could have judged me and condemned me for my actions. Thank you for making me feel like I'm okay, exactly as I am. Thank you for making me feel like I am worthy of your time and affection, and for making me feel seen, heard, and valued. That's what I want to be to as many people as possible. And I pass that on to you to consider that people matter. The people in our worlds matter. And the more we can allow them to flourish and be all they can be, it comes back to us in that we become all that we can be and flourish in our own selves.